Understand any English word. No dictionary needed. Everyday English Speaking Practice Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to Fluent English in Minutes. Today, we are going to train one of the most useful skills in English. The skill is this: how to understand a new English word without stopping, without panicking, without translating every word, and without opening a dictionary every 10 seconds. Maybe this has happened to you before. You are reading a short paragraph in English. Everything feels okay. Then suddenly, one word appears. You do not know it. Your brain stops. Your confidence drops. And you think, oh no, I cannot understand this. But today, I want to show you something important. One unknown word does not have to stop you. One unknown word is not a wall. It is a clue. It is a little puzzle, and you can learn how to solve it. In this lesson, we will practice together slowly. You will learn how to guess meaning from the sentence. You will learn how to use the words around the new word. You will learn how to use real-life situations. You will learn how to notice word parts. You will learn how to understand emotion, tone, and action. And most importantly, you will practice speaking, not just listening, not just studying. You will speak with me. You will repeat. You will shadow. You will build sentences. And you will train your mouth and your brain to work together. This lesson is for B1 and B2 learners, so do not worry. I will keep the English clear. I will use short sentences, and I will guide you step by step. By the end of this lesson, I want you to feel different when you see a new word. I do not want you to feel afraid. I want you to feel curious. I want you to think, let me look around. Maybe the sentence can help me. That is the beginning of real fluency. So take a slow breath. Relax your shoulders. Listen carefully. Repeat when I ask you to repeat. And let's begin. The first idea is simple. A word does not live alone. A word lives in a neighborhood. Every word has neighbors. The word before it, the word after it, the sentence around it, the situation around it, the feeling around it. If you only look at the new word, it can feel confusing. But if you look at its neighbors, the meaning often becomes clear. Let's try a simple example. Listen to this sentence. After running for the bus, David was panting and could not speak for a moment. Maybe the word panting is new for you. Do not open a dictionary. Look at the neighborhood. David was running. He could not speak for a moment. What happens after you run fast? You breathe quickly and heavily. So panting means breathing fast and hard. Say it with me. Panting means breathing fast and hard. Now repeat the sentence. After running for the bus, David was panting again. After running for the bus, David was panting. Good. You did not translate. You looked at the situation. That is the skill. Let's try another sentence. The floor was slippery after the rain, so Mia walked very carefully. Maybe slippery is new. Look at the neighbors. Rain, floor, walked carefully. Why do we walk carefully after rain? Because the floor is wet. And when something is wet, your feet can slide. So slippery means easy to slide on. Repeat. Slippery means easy to slide on. Now say the full sentence. The floor was slippery after the rain. Again. The floor was slippery after the rain. Very good. Now I want you to notice something. You already understood the meaning before I explained it. Your brain found the clues. This is how strong your brain is when you give it time. Most learners have a habit. They see a new word. They stop immediately. But from today, I want you to build a new habit. Do not stop immediately. Look around first. Ask 3 simple questions. What is happening? Who is doing something? What feeling do I get? These 3 questions can help you understand many new words. Let's practice them. Sentence 1. The little girl clutched her teddy bear during the thunderstorm. The new word is clutched. Question 1. What is happening? There is a thunderstorm. Question 2. Who is doing something? A little girl. Question 3. What feeling do I get? Maybe fear, maybe nervousness. What does a child do with a teddy bear? When she feels scared, she holds it tightly. So clutched means held tightly. Repeat. Clutched means held tightly. The little girl clutched her teddy bear. Say it again. The little girl clutched her teddy bear. Feel the action in your hands. Imagine holding something tightly. Good. Sentence 2. The room was silent, except for the clock ticking on the wall. The new word is ticking. Look at the situation. A quiet room, a clock, a sound on the wall. What sound does a clock make? Tick, tick, tick. So ticking means making a small, repeated clock sound. Repeat. The clock was ticking on the wall. Again. The clock was ticking on the wall. Good. Sentence 3. He peeked through the window because he did not want anyone to see him. The new word is peeked. Look at the clues. Through the window. Did not want anyone to see him. So he did not look openly. He looked quickly or secretly. Peeked means looked quickly or secretly. Repeat. Peeked means looked quickly or secretly. He peeked through the window. Again. He peeked through the window. Excellent. You are now using the first tool. The first tool is context. Context means the information around the word. Context is like a small map. It shows you where the meaning is. Now let's move to the second tool. The second tool is category. When you see a new word, ask yourself, is this word a person? Is it an action? Is it a thing? Is it a feeling? Is it a description? You do not need the exact meaning immediately. First, find the category. That already helps your brain. Listen. The manager approved the plan after the meeting. Maybe approved is new. What category is it? Is it a person? No. Is it a thing? No. Is it an action? Yes. The manager did something to the plan. The plan was probably accepted. So approved means accepted or said yes to something. Repeat. Approved means said yes to something. The manager approved the plan. Again. The manager approved the plan. Now another example. The apartment was spacious and bright. Maybe spacious is new. What category is it? It describes the apartment, so it is a description. What kind of apartment is spacious? Look at bright. It sounds positive. A spacious apartment has a lot of space. It is not small. Repeat. Spacious means having a lot of space. The apartment was spacious and bright. Again. The apartment was spacious and bright. Good. Another one. Nina felt relieved when she found her missing phone. Maybe relieved is new. What category is it? It is a feeling. Why did she feel this way? She found her missing phone. Before, she was worried. Now, the worry is gone. So relieved means happy and calm because a problem is gone. Repeat. Relieved means happy because a worry is gone. Nina felt relieved. Again. Nina felt relieved. Good. This is powerful. When you cannot find the exact meaning, find the category first. Action, thing, feeling, description, person, place. This gives your brain a path. Now let's do a quick category practice. Listen and repeat. The soup was creamy. Creamy describes the soup. It means smooth and thick, like cream. Repeat. The soup was creamy. The dog barked loudly. Barked is an action. It is the sound a dog makes. Repeat. The dog barked loudly. She felt embarrassed after making a mistake. Embarrassed is a feeling. It means uncomfortable because you feel people are watching you. Repeat. She felt embarrassed. The envelope was on the desk. Envelope is a thing. It is something you put a letter inside. Repeat. The envelope was on the desk. Very good. Now we are going to build the next skill. The third tool is contrast. Many sentences help you because they show opposites. Words like but, however, although, unlike, instead, and while are powerful clues. They often show two different ideas. Listen to this sentence. Tom is outgoing, but his brother is reserved. Maybe reserved is new. Look at the word but. But tells us there is a contrast. Tom is outgoing. Outgoing means social and friendly. His brother is the opposite. So reserved means quiet, not very open, not quick to talk. Repeat. Reserved means quiet and not very open. His brother is reserved. Again. His brother is reserved. Another example. The first task was simple, but the second one was complicated. Maybe complicated is new, but gives the clue. Simple is easy. So complicated is not easy. It has many parts. Repeat. Complicated means not simple. The second task was complicated. Again. The second task was complicated. Another one. Although the street looked narrow, the truck passed through easily. Maybe narrow is new. Look at the contrast. The truck passed through easily. The street looked narrow. A narrow street is not wide. Repeat. Narrow means not wide. The street looked narrow. Again. The street looked narrow. Excellent. Now let's practice contrast with speaking. Repeat after me. The tea was bitter, but the cake was sweet. Bitter means not sweet. Again, the tea was bitter, but the cake was sweet. She was confident, but I felt nervous. Nervous means worried before something. Again, she was confident, but I felt nervous. The hotel was expensive, but the room was tiny. Tiny means very small. Again, the room was tiny. Good. You are learning through contrast. Your brain likes contrast because it is clear, hot and cold, big and small, quiet and loud, easy and difficult. When a sentence shows two sides, use both sides. Now let's move to the fourth tool. The fourth tool is examples. Sometimes the sentence gives you examples after the new word. Words like such as including, for example, like, and especially can help you. Listen, at the market, she bought several tropical fruits such as mangoes, pineapples, and papayas. Maybe tropical is new. Look at the examples. Mangoes, pineapples, papayas. These fruits grow in warm places. So tropical means related to hot, warm regions. Repeat. Tropical fruits. Tropical fruits. She bought tropical fruits. Again. She bought tropical fruits. Another example. He enjoys outdoor activities, including hiking, cycling, and camping. Maybe outdoor is new. Look at the examples. Hiking, cycling, camping. These happen outside. Outdoor means outside. Repeat. Outdoor activities. Outdoor activities. He enjoys outdoor activities. Good. Another one. You need basic supplies like paper, pens, tape, and scissors. Maybe supplies is new. Look at the examples. Paper, pens, tape, scissors. Supplies are useful things you need for an activity. Repeat. Supplies are things you need. I bought school supplies. Again, I bought school supplies. Good. Now let's do listen and repeat practice with example clues. Listen. She wore protective gear such as gloves and a helmet. Protective gear means things that keep you safe. Repeat. She wore protective gear. Again. She wore protective gear. The room had several appliances, including a fridge, a microwave, and a washing machine. Appliances are machines used at home. Repeat. The room had several appliances. Again. The room had several appliances. He likes quiet hobbies, like reading, drawing, and gardening. Hobbies are activities you enjoy. Repeat. He likes quiet hobbies. Again. He likes quiet hobbies. Great. Now let's slow down. You have learned 4 tools already. Context, category, contrast, examples. Now we will use them in a mini dialogue. Listen first. Then we will practice. Ava, I saw a strange sign at the station today. Ben, what did it say? Ava, it said, please use the alternative entrance. Ben, did you understand? Alternative? Ava, not at first, but the main door was closed. Everyone was walking to another door. Ben, so alternative means another option. Ava, exactly. I did not need a dictionary. Now let's practice the dialogue slowly. Repeat after me. I saw a strange sign at the station today. What did it say? Please use the alternative entrance. The main door was closed. Everyone was walking to another door. Alternative means another option. Good. Now let's make it more natural. Repeat. The main entrance was closed, so I used the alternative entrance. Again, the main entrance was closed, so I used the alternative entrance. Excellent. Here is another mini dialogue. Leo, I heard someone say the meeting was postponed. Sarah, did you know that word? Leo, I guessed it. The meeting was not happening today anymore. Sarah, right. If something is postponed, it is moved to a later time. Leo, so the meeting was postponed until Friday. Now repeat. The meeting was postponed. It was moved to a later time. The meeting was postponed until Friday. Again, the meeting was postponed until Friday. Good. Notice how the conversation teaches the word. You do not need a long definition. You need a real situation. Now we will move into a slow listening section. I will tell a short story. Some words may be new. Do not worry. Listen for the clues. The story is called The Lost Ticket. Lena arrived at the train station early. She reached into her bag to find her ticket, but the ticket was missing. She checked every pocket. She opened every small bag inside her bag. Her face became tense. Then she remembered something. She had placed the ticket inside her notebook. She opened the notebook and smiled. The ticket was there. She felt relieved. Now let's understand the words. Maybe tense was new. Her face became tense. What was happening? Her ticket was missing. She was worried. Her face was not relaxed. So tense means tight, worried, or not relaxed. Repeat. Her face became tense. Again, her face became tense. Maybe relieved was new. She found the ticket. The problem was gone. She felt relieved. Repeat. She felt relieved. Again. She felt relieved. Now repeat these sentences. The ticket was missing. Her face became tense. She found the ticket. She felt relieved. Again. The ticket was missing. Her face became tense. She found the ticket. She felt relieved. Good. This is how stories help you. The story gives you emotion. Emotion gives you meaning. Now let's move to the fifth tool. The fifth tool is emotion. Many English words are easier to understand when you feel them. Listen. He was delighted when his sister surprised him with a visit. Maybe delighted is new. What happened? His sister surprised him with a visit. Is this positive or negative? Positive. He was very happy. Delighted means very happy or pleased. Repeat. He was delighted. Again. He was delighted. Now feel it. Imagine someone you love visits you. Say, I was delighted to see her again. I was delighted to see her. Good. Another emotion word. She was anxious. Before the interview, maybe anxious is new. What situation? Before the interview. How do people often feel before an interview, worried, nervous, anxious means worried or nervous about something that may happen. Repeat. She was anxious before the interview. Again, she was anxious before the interview. Now make it personal. I feel anxious before important meetings. Repeat. I feel anxious before important meetings. Good. Another one. He was irritated because the noise continued all night. Maybe irritated is new. Noise continued all night. How would you feel? Annoyed. A little angry. Irritated means annoyed. Repeat. He was irritated by the noise. Again. He was irritated by the noise. Very good. Now let's do emotion shadowing. Repeat each sentence after me. I felt delighted when I heard the good news. I felt anxious before the test. I felt irritated by the loud music. I felt calm after taking a deep breath. I felt proud when I finished the project. Again, a little faster. I felt delighted when I heard the good news. I felt anxious before the test. I felt irritated by the loud music. I felt calm after taking a deep breath. I felt proud when I finished the project. Excellent. Now we will connect emotion with guessing. Listen to this sentence. When the child broke the vase, he looked guilty. Maybe guilty is new. The child broke the vase. He looked a certain way. How does someone feel after doing something wrong? Guilty. Guilty means feeling bad because you did something wrong. Repeat. He looked guilty. Again. He looked guilty. Another sentence. She looked puzzled when she saw the strange message. Maybe puzzled is new. A strange message. She did not understand. Puzzled means confused. Repeat. She looked puzzled. Again. She looked puzzled. Good. Now we are ready for the sixth tool. The sixth tool is action. Action words are often easy to guess if you imagine the body movement. Let's practice. The cat stretched on the sofa after sleeping. Maybe stretched is new. Imagine a cat after sleeping. It makes its body long. It moves slowly. Stretched means made the body long. Repeat. The cat stretched on the sofa. Again. The cat stretched on the sofa. Another one. He nodded when he agreed with me. Maybe nodded is new. Agreed with me. What movement do we make with the head when we say yes? We move the head up and down. Nodded means moved the head to say yes. Repeat. He nodded. Again. He nodded. Another one. She shrugged when she did not know the answer. Maybe shrugged is new. She did not know. What movement do people make? They lift their shoulders. Shrugged means lifted the shoulders to show you do not know or do not care. Repeat. She shrugged. Again. She shrugged. Now shadow with me. He nodded because he agreed. She shrugged because she did not know. The cat stretched after sleeping. The child waved goodbye. The man pointed at the map. Again. He nodded because he agreed. She shrugged because she did not know. The cat stretched after sleeping. The child waved goodbye. The man pointed at the map. Great. Action words become easier when you act them in your mind. You do not have to move your body if you cannot. But imagine the movement. Your brain remembers pictures better than definitions. Now let's practice with a daily conversation. Conversation 1. At the office. Maya, did you understand the email from Mr. Clark? John, mostly. But one word confused me. Maya, which word? John, he wrote, please revise the report before noon. Maya, what do you think revise means? John, well, he mentioned a report and he said before noon. Maybe he wants me to check it? Maya, yes, revise means to change and improve something. John, so I need to revise the report. Maya, exactly. Maybe fix mistakes, maybe improve the writing. John, good. I can understand that from the situation. Now repeat the useful sentences. Please revise the report. Revise means change and improve. I need to revise the report before noon. Again, please revise the report. Revise means change and improve. I need to revise the report before noon. Good. Let's build more sentences. I need to revise my essay. She revised her notes before the exam. We revised the plan after the meeting. Again, I need to revise my essay. She revised her notes before the exam. We revised the plan after the meeting. Very good. Now let's move into word parts. This is the 7th tool. Many English words have small pieces. These pieces carry meaning. When you understand the pieces, you can guess the word. Let's begin with re. Re often means again. Listen, read, reread. If you reread a sentence, you read it again. Write, rewrite. If you rewrite a paragraph, you write it again. Start, restart. If you restart a computer, you start it again. Repeat. Reread means read again. Rewrite means write again. Restart means start again. Now repeat the sentences. I need to reread the message. Please rewrite this sentence. Let's restart the lesson. Again, I need to reread the message. Please rewrite this sentence. Let's restart the lesson. Good. Now let's use re in real life. Imagine your phone is slow. You say, I will restart my phone. Repeat, I will restart my phone. Imagine your teacher says, your paragraph is not clear. You say, I will rewrite the paragraph. Repeat, I will rewrite the paragraph. Imagine you do not understand an email. You say, I will reread the email. Repeat, I will reread the email. Excellent. Now let's learn. Often means not. Happy, unhappy. Clear, unclear. Safe, unsafe. Comfortable, uncomfortable. Repeat. Unhappy means not happy. Unclear means not clear. Unsafe means not safe. Uncomfortable means not comfortable. Now sentences. The instructions are unclear. This chair is uncomfortable. The road is unsafe at night. Again, the instructions are unclear. This chair is uncomfortable. The road is unsafe at night. Good. Now let's learn. Pre. Pre often means before. View. Preview. A preview is something you see before the full thing. Heat. Preheat. If you preheat the oven, you heat it before cooking. Pay. Prepay. If you prepay, you pay before. Repeat. Preview. Preheat. Prepay. Now sentences. We watched a movie preview. Please preheat the oven. You can prepay for the ticket again. We watched a movie preview. Please preheat the oven. You can prepay for the ticket. Good. Now let's learn less. Less often means without. Hope, hopeless. Without hope. Care, careless. Without care. Home, homeless. Without a home. Repeat. Hopeless, careless, homeless. Now sentences. He felt hopeless after many failures. That was a careless mistake. The organization helps homeless people. Again. He felt hopeless after many failures. That was a careless mistake. The organization helps homeless people. Good. Now full. Full often means full of, careful, full of care, useful, full of use, peaceful, full of peace, colorful, full of color. Repeat. Careful, useful, peaceful, colorful. Now sentences. Be careful with the knife. This lesson is useful. The garden felt peaceful. Her notebook was colorful. Again. Be careful with the knife. This lesson is useful. The garden felt peaceful. Her notebook was colorful. Excellent. Now let's use word parts in a short story. Listen. I opened the email again because the message was unclear. I decided to rewrite my reply. Before sending it, I reread it carefully. The story helped me avoid a careless mistake. Now let's notice the words. Unclear means not clear. Rewrite means write again. Reread means read again. Careless means without care. Repeat the sentences. The message was unclear. I decided to rewrite my reply. I reread it carefully. I avoided a careless mistake. Again, the message was unclear. I decided to rewrite my reply. I reread it carefully. I avoided a careless mistake. Great. This is not memorization. This is word building. You are building meaning from pieces. Now let's move to the eighth tool. The eighth tool is sound. Some English words sound like their meaning, not all words, but many sound words can help you. Listen. The bees buzzed around the flowers. Buzzed. Can you hear the sound? Buzz. A bee makes a buzzing sound. Repeat. The bees buzzed around the flowers. Again. The bees buzzed around the flowers. Another one. The door creaked when I opened it. Creaked. It sounds like an old door. A long, dry sound. Repeat. The door creaked. Again. The door creaked. Another one. The leaves crunched under my shoes. Crunched. Imagine dry leaves under your shoes. Crunch. Crunch. Repeat. The leaves crunched under my shoes. Again. The leaves crunched under my shoes. Another one. The water splashed onto the floor. Splashed. water moving quickly and hitting something. Repeat. The water splashed onto the floor. Again. The water splashed onto the floor. Now shadow with me. The bees buzzed. The old door creaked. The dry leaves crunched. The water splashed. The glass cracked. The wind whispered. Again. The bees buzzed. The old door creaked. The dry leaves crunched. The water splashed. The glass cracked. The wind whispered. Good. Use your ears. Sometimes the sound of the word helps you. Now let's practice a longer listening section. The title is A Rainy Morning. I woke up early. Rain tapped against the window. The wind whispered through the trees. In the kitchen, the kettle hissed softly. I poured tea into my cup. Then thunder rumbled far away. The whole morning felt slow and quiet. Now let's understand the sound words. Tapped, rain tapped. Against the window. Tapped means made small, hitting sounds. Repeat. Rain tapped. Against the window, whispered. The wind whispered through the trees. Whispered means made a soft, quiet sound. Repeat. The wind whispered through the trees. Hissed. The kettle hissed softly. Hissed means made a long, soft sound, like steam. Repeat. The kettle hissed softly. Rumbled. Thunder rumbled far away. Rumbled means made a deep, low sound. Repeat. Thunder rumbled far away. Now repeat. The full set. Rain tapped against the window. The wind whispered through the trees. The kettle hissed softly. Thunder rumbled far away. Again. Rain tapped against the window. The wind whispered through the trees. The kettle hissed softly. Thunder rumbled far away. Excellent. You just learned 4 words from sound and situation. Now we will move into fluency building. Understanding a word is good, but using the word is better. If you want a word to become yours, you need to use it in sentences. Let's take one word. Relieved. You know it means happy because a worry is gone. Now build sentences. I felt relieved. I felt relieved when I found my keys. I felt relieved when the test was over. I felt relieved because my friend arrived safely. Repeat. I felt relieved. I felt relieved when I found my keys. I felt relieved when the test was over. I felt relieved because my friend arrived safely. Good. Now make it more natural. I was so relieved to hear that you were okay. Repeat. I was so relieved to hear that you were okay. Again. I was so relieved to hear that you were okay. Great. Now another word. Unclear. The instructions are unclear. The email is unclear. Your answer is a little unclear. The reason is still unclear. Repeat. The instructions are unclear. The email is unclear. Your answer is a little unclear. The reason is still unclear. Now make a polite sentence. Sorry. This part is a little unclear to me. Repeat. Sorry. This part is a little unclear to me. Again. Sorry. This part is a little unclear to me. Good. Now another word. Revise. I need to revise my notes. Can you revise this paragraph? We should revise the plan. She revised her speech before the event. Repeat. I need to revise my notes. Can you revise this paragraph? We should revise the plan. She revised her speech before the event. Good. Now let's combine them. The instructions were unclear, so I revised my answer. Repeat. The instructions were unclear, so I revised my answer. Again. The instructions were unclear, so I revised my answer. Excellent. This is fluency building. You take one word, you build one short sentence, then a longer sentence, then a real-life sentence, then you combine ideas. This is how you move from understanding to speaking. Now let's do a common mistakes section. Mistake number 1. Stopping too early. Many learners stop at the first unknown word, but often the next sentence explains it. For example, the trail was muddy. Our shoes sank into the soft, wet ground. Maybe muddy is new. If you stop after the first sentence, you may feel confused, but the next sentence gives clues. Soft, wet ground. Shoes sank. Muddy means covered with wet dirt. Repeat. The trail was muddy. Our shoes sank into the soft, wet ground. Good. So the rule is, do not stop too early. Read one more sentence. Listen one more moment. The answer may be coming. Mistake number 2. Translating every word. Translation can help sometimes, but if you translate every word, your brain becomes slow. You lose the flow. Instead, ask, do I understand the main idea? If yes, keep going. You do not need every exact word. Let's practice. Sentence. The speaker made a brief comment before leaving the room. Maybe brief is new. Do you need to translate? No. Look at the sentence. Before leaving the room. A comment. Probably short. Brief means short. Repeat. A brief comment. A brief meeting. A brief message. Again. A brief comment. A brief meeting. A brief message. Mistake number 3. Thinking one word has only one meaning. Many English words have several meanings. For example, the word table. A table can be furniture. Please put the cup on the table. But in a report, a table can mean organized information with rows and columns. Look at the table on page 3. Same word, different situation. Repeat. Put the cup on the table. Look at the table on page 3. Good. Another word. Date. A date can be a day on a calendar. What is the date? Today? A date can also be a romantic meeting. They went on a date. Repeat. What is the date? Today? They went on a date. Good. So always use situation. The situation chooses the meaning. Mistake number 4. Learning a word without a sentence. If you only memorize one word, it may disappear. But if you learn a word in a sentence, it stays longer. Do not just learn fragile. Learn. This glass is fragile. Please be careful. Fragile means easy to break. Repeat. This glass is fragile. Please be careful. Again. This glass is fragile. Please be careful. Do not just learn, urgent. Learn. This message is urgent. Please reply today. Urgent means needing action soon. Repeat. This message is urgent. Please reply today. Again. This message is urgent. Please reply today. Good. Now let's do a real-life conversation section. This conversation is longer. Listen first for the general meaning. Do not worry about every word. The situation is simple. Two friends are at a small bookstore. They are choosing a book in English. Conversation. Mia. This book looks interesting, but I already found 3 words I do not know. Ryan. That is normal. Do not close the book yet. Mia. I always feel stuck when I see new words. Ryan. Let's try something. Read the sentence around the first word. Mia. Okay, the sentence says, the old man lived in a remote village, far from the city. Ryan. Good. What do you think remote means? Mia. It says far from the city. So maybe remote means far away. Ryan. Exactly. You used the clue. Mia. That was easier than I expected. Ryan. What is the next word? Mia. Here. The path was steep, so they climbed slowly. Ryan. What is happening? Mia. They are climbing, and they climb slowly. Ryan. So steep, probably, describes the path. Mia. Maybe it means difficult to climb because it goes up sharply. Ryan. Perfect. That is a strong guess. Mia. I like this. It feels like solving a mystery. Ryan. Yes, English becomes less scary when you treat new words like clues. Mia. Here is another one. She hesitated before knocking on the door. Ryan. What do you imagine? Mia. She is standing at the door. She is not knocking immediately. Ryan. Why not? Mia. Maybe she is nervous. Ryan. So hesitated means paused before doing something. Mia. I understand it now. Ryan. Great. Now read the 3 sentences again. Mia. The old man lived in a remote village. The path was steep. She hesitated before knocking. Ryan. Nice. You did not need a dictionary. Mia. I still might check later. Ryan. Of course. A dictionary is not bad, but use your brain first. Mia. Brain first. Dictionary later. Ryan. Exactly. Now we will practice useful lines from the conversation. Repeat after me. Do not close the book yet. Read the sentence around the word. What do you think it means? It feels like solving a mystery. Use your brain first. Dictionary later. Again. Do not close the book yet. Read the sentence around the word. What do you think it means? It feels like solving a mystery. Use your brain first. Dictionary later. Good. Now repeat the vocabulary sentences. The village was remote. The path was steep. She hesitated before knocking. Again. The village was remote. The path was steep. She hesitated before knocking. Now let's expand. A remote village is far from the city. A steep path goes up sharply. To hesitate means to pause before acting. Repeat. A remote village is far from the city. A steep path goes up sharply. To hesitate means to pause before acting. Excellent. Now let's do shadowing. Shadowing means you listen and repeat with the same rhythm. Try not to translate. Just follow the sound. Let the sentences move through your mouth. First, slow. I can guess the meaning from context. Again, I can guess the meaning from context. I do not need to stop at every new word. Again, I do not need to stop at every new word. The sentence gives me clues. Again, the sentence gives me clues. The situation helps me understand. Again, the situation helps me understand. I can use my brain first. Again, I can use my brain first. Now, a little longer. When I see a new word, I look at the words around it. Again, when I see a new word, I look at the words around it. I ask myself, what is happening in the sentence? Again, I ask myself, what is happening in the sentence? I notice the feeling, the action, and the situation. Again, I notice the feeling, the action, and the situation. Then I make a smart guess. Again, then I make a smart guess. Good. Now more natural. I do not panic. When I see a new word, I slow down and look for clues. Sometimes the sentence explains the word. Sometimes the examples explain the word. Sometimes the emotion explains the word. And sometimes the word parts help me. Repeat. I do not panic when I see a new word. I slow down and look for clues. Sometimes the sentence explains the word. Sometimes the examples explain the word. Sometimes the emotion explains the word. And sometimes the word parts help me. Excellent. Now let's do a practice game. I will give you sentences. You guess the meaning, then repeat the answer. Sentence 1. The suitcase was heavy, so Mark dragged it across the floor. The new word is dragged. What is happening? A heavy suitcase across the floor. Maybe he did not lift it. He pulled it along the floor. Dragged means pulled something with effort. Repeat. Dragged means pulled with effort. Mark dragged the suitcase across the floor. Again. Mark dragged the suitcase across the floor. Sentence 2. The room was packed with people, and there was no place to sit. The new word is packed. Room. People. No place to sit. Packed means very full. Repeat. The room was packed with people. Again. The room was packed with people. Sentence 3. She whispered because the baby was sleeping. The new word is whispered. Baby sleeping. So she spoke quietly. Repeat. She whispered because the baby was sleeping. Again, she whispered because the baby was sleeping. Sentence 4. The instructions were confusing, so I asked for help. Confusing. Instructions. Asked for help. Confusing means hard to understand. Repeat. The instructions were confusing. Again. The instructions were confusing. Sentence 5. He repaired the chair because one leg was broken. Repaired, broken chair. He fixed it. Repeat. He repaired the chair. Again. He repaired the chair. Good. Now let's use these 5 words in a short story. I dragged my heavy suitcase into a packed room. The instructions were confusing, so I whispered to my friend and asked for help. Later, we repaired the broken chair together. Repeat. I dragged my heavy suitcase into a packed room. The instructions were confusing. I whispered to my friend. We repaired the broken chair again. I dragged my heavy suitcase into a packed room. The instructions were confusing. I whispered to my friend. We repaired the broken chair. Very good. Now we will learn another important idea. You can understand words by asking what job they do in the sentence. This is not complicated grammar. It is just noticing. Listen. The loud alarm startled everyone. Maybe startled is new. What job does it do? It is the action. The alarm did something to everyone. What happens when a loud alarm suddenly goes off? People jump or feel surprised. Startled means suddenly surprised or shocked. Repeat. The alarm startled everyone. Again. The alarm startled everyone. Now listen. The room had a cozy feeling. Maybe cozy is new. What job does it do? It describes feeling. A cozy room feels warm, comfortable, and pleasant. Repeat. The room felt cozy. Again. The room felt cozy. Another one. The cyclist wore a helmet for safety. Maybe helmet is new. What job does it do? It is a thing. The cyclist wore it for safety. A helmet protects the head. Repeat. The cyclist wore a helmet. Again. The cyclist wore a helmet. Good. Now let's practice identifying the job. The word is glowing. The lamp was glowing in the dark. Glowing is an action or description of light. It means shining softly. Repeat. The lamp was glowing. The word is crowded. The bus was crowded in the morning. Crowded describes the bus. It means full of people. Repeat. The bus was crowded. The word is appointment. I have a dentist appointment at 3. Appointment is a thing. It means a planned meeting or visit. Repeat. I have a dentist appointment at 3. Excellent. Now let's practice with a workplace situation. Imagine you receive this message. Could you prepare a brief summary of today's discussion? Maybe brief is new. Maybe summary is new. Look at the sentence. Prepare today's discussion, a brief summary. What does your boss want? Not a long report, a short version of the main points. Brief means short. Summary means the main ideas in a short form. Repeat. A brief summary. A brief summary of today's discussion. Could you prepare a brief summary? Again. Could you prepare a brief summary? Good. Now make your own useful sentence. I will send you a brief summary. Repeat. I will send you a brief summary. Again. I will send you a brief summary. This sentence is very useful for work. Now another Workplace message. Please confirm your attendance by Friday. Maybe confirm is new. Maybe attendance is new. What is the situation, an event, or meeting? By Friday, they want to know if you will come. Confirm means say yes clearly or make sure. Attendance means being present. Repeat. Please confirm your attendance. Again, please confirm your attendance. Now more natural. Please confirm your attendance by Friday. Again, please confirm your attendance by Friday. Good. Now let's make a mini dialogue. Manager, please confirm your attendance by Friday. Employee, of course, I will let you know today. Manager, thank you. We need a final number for the meeting room. Employee, I understand. I will confirm this afternoon. Repeat. Please confirm your attendance by Friday. I will let you know today. We need a final number. I will confirm this afternoon. Again, please confirm your attendance by Friday. I will let you know today. We need a final number. I will confirm this afternoon. Good. This is real English. You are not only learning vocabulary, you are learning how to respond. Now let's move into daily life situations. At a restaurant, the waiter says, "Today's soup is mild, but we also have a spicy option." Maybe mild is new, but gives contrast. Mild versus spicy. Spicy means strong, hot flavor. Mild means not strong, not spicy. Repeat. The soup is mild. Again. The soup is mild. Now useful sentences. I prefer mild food. This sauce is too spicy for me. Do you have a mild option? Repeat. I prefer mild food. This sauce is too spicy for me. Do you have a mild option? Good. At a hotel, the receptionist says, "Your room is available, but check-in may take a few minutes." Maybe available is new. What is happening? Your room. Check-in. Available means ready or possible to use. Repeat. Your room is available. Again. Your room is available. Useful sentences. Is this seat available? Is the room available? Are you available tomorrow? Repeat. Is this seat available? Is the room available? Are you available tomorrow? Good. Notice something important. Available can be used for things, rooms, seats, and people. A seat is available. A room is available. A person is available. The meaning changes slightly with the situation, but the main idea is possible or free to use. Now, at a doctor's office, the nurse says, "Please describe your symptoms." Maybe symptoms is new. Doctor's office. Describe your health problem. Symptoms are signs of illness like pain, cough, fever, or tiredness. Repeat. Please describe your symptoms. Again. Please describe your symptoms. Useful sentences. My symptoms started yesterday. The main symptom is a headache. I have mild symptoms. Repeat. My symptoms started yesterday. The main symptom is a headache. I have Mild symptoms. Good. Now at the airport. The screen says, the flight has been delayed. Maybe delayed is new. Flight. Time. Airport. If a flight is delayed, it will happen later than planned. Repeat. The flight has been delayed. Again. The flight has been delayed. Useful sentences. My flight was delayed. The meeting was delayed. The train was delayed by 10 minutes. Repeat. My flight was delayed. The meeting was delayed. The train was delayed by 10 minutes. Excellent. Now we will do a review of the tools, but we will not make it boring. We will use a story. The story is called The New Neighborhood. Listen carefully. Daniel moved to a new neighborhood. At first, everything felt unfamiliar. The streets were narrow. The supermarket was crowded. The signs were unclear. But Daniel stayed calm. He looked for clues. A friendly neighbor waved at him. A small cafe looked cozy. A map near the bus stop showed the main road. By the end of the day, Daniel felt more confident. Now let's find meanings. Unfamiliar. Everything felt unfamiliar. New neighborhood. First day. Unfamiliar means not known or not familiar. Repeat. Everything felt unfamiliar. Narrow. The streets were narrow. A narrow street is not wide. Repeat. The streets were narrow. Crowded. The supermarket was crowded. Many people. Repeat. The supermarket was crowded. Unclear. The signs were unclear. Not easy to understand. Repeat. The signs were unclear. Cozy. A small cafe looked cozy, warm, and comfortable. Repeat. The cafe looked cozy, confident. By the end of the day, Daniel felt more confident. He felt stronger and less afraid. Repeat. Daniel felt more confident. Now repeat the story in short lines. Daniel moved to a new neighborhood. Everything felt unfamiliar. The streets were narrow. The supermarket was crowded. The signs were unclear, but he stayed calm. A small cafe looked cozy. By the end of the day, he felt confident. Again, Daniel moved to a new neighborhood. Everything felt unfamiliar. The streets were narrow. The supermarket was crowded. The signs were unclear, but he stayed calm. A small cafe looked cozy. By the end of the day, he felt confident. Excellent. This story is also a metaphor for English. Sometimes English feels like a new neighborhood. Some words are unfamiliar. Some sentences are crowded. Some meanings are unclear. But you can stay calm. You can look for clues. And little by little, the language becomes familiar. Now let's do a deeper practice with word families. A word family means several words are connected. For example, decide, decision, decisive, indecisive. Let's look. Decide means choose. Decision is the choice. Decisive describes someone who can choose clearly. Indecisive describes someone who cannot choose easily. Repeat. Decide, decision, decisive, indecisive. Now sentences. I need to decide today. That was a difficult decision. She is a decisive leader. I feel indecisive about the plan. Again, I need to decide. Today, that was a difficult decision. She is a decisive leader. I feel indecisive about the plan. Good. Now another family. Comfort. Comfortable. Uncomfortable. Comfortably. Comforting. Comfort means a feeling of ease or support. Comfortable means feeling good and relaxed. Uncomfortable means not comfortable. Comfortably means in a comfortable way. Comforting means making someone feel better. Repeat. Comfort. Comfortable. Uncomfortable. Comfortably. Comforting. Now sentences. This chair is comfortable. These shoes are uncomfortable. She sat comfortably by the window. His words were comforting. Again, this chair is comfortable. These shoes are uncomfortable. She sat comfortably by the window. His words were comforting. Excellent. Now another family. Explain. Explanation. Unexplained. Self-explanatory. Explain means make something clear. Explanation is the thing you say. To make it clear. Unexplained means not explained. Self-explanatory means easy to understand without explanation. Repeat. Explain. Explanation. Unexplained. Self-explanatory. Now sentences. Can you explain this word? Thank you for the explanation. The strange noise was unexplained. The picture is self-explanatory. Again, can you explain this word? Thank you for the explanation. The strange noise was unexplained. The picture is self-explanatory. Good. This is advanced learning, but we are doing it slowly. When you know one word, look for its family. This can multiply your vocabulary. Now we will do speaking practice. Answer out loud. If you can, I will ask a question. Then I will give you a model answer. Question 1. When do you feel relieved? Model answer. I feel relieved when I finish difficult work. Repeat. I feel relieved when I finish difficult work. Question 2. What kind of place feels cozy to you? Model answer. A quiet room with warm light feels cozy to me. Repeat. A quiet room with warm light feels cozy to me. Question 3. What is something's unclear in English for you? Model answer. Some fast conversations are unclear to me. Repeat. Some fast conversations are unclear to me. Question 4. When do you feel anxious? Model answer. I feel anxious before speaking in front of people. Repeat. I feel anxious before speaking in front of people. Question 5. What do you do when instructions are confusing? Model answer. I read them again and ask for help. Repeat. I read them again and ask for help. Good. You are not just repeating random words. You are speaking about real life. That is how vocabulary becomes useful. Now let's learn how to make a smart guess. A smart guess has 4 steps. Step 1. Stay calm. Step 2. Read or listen to the full sentence. Step 3. Look for clues. Step 4. Make a simple meaning, not a perfect definition, a simple meaning. Let's practice. Sentence. The old bridge was fragile. so people crossed it slowly. Step 1. Stay calm. Step 2. Full sentence. The bridge was fragile. People crossed slowly. Step 3. Clues. Old bridge, slow crossing. Step 4. Simple meaning. Fragile means easy to break. Repeat. The old bridge was fragile. Fragile means easy to break. Again. The old bridge was fragile. Good. Next. The baby grabbed the spoon and refused to let go. Step 1. Stay calm. Step 2. Full sentence. Baby, spoon, refused to let go. Step 3. Clues. Hand action. Step 4. Grabbed means took and held quickly. Repeat. The baby grabbed the spoon. Grabbed means took and held quickly. Again. The baby grabbed the spoon. Next. The teacher praised Leo for his hard work. Clues. Teacher. Hard work. Positive. Praised means said good things about someone. Repeat. The teacher praised Leo. Praised means said good things. Again. The teacher praised Leo. Next. The coffee spilled onto my shirt. Clues. Coffee. Shirt. Liquid moving out. Spilled means accidentally poured out. Repeat. The coffee spilled onto my shirt. Again. The coffee spilled onto my shirt. Excellent. Now let's do a faster round. Do not worry. I will help you. The bread was stale, so nobody wanted to eat it. Stale means old and not fresh. Repeat. The bread was stale. The child begged for another story. Begged means asked strongly. Repeat. The child begged for another story. The room was spotless after she cleaned it. Spotless means completely clean. Repeat. The room was spotless. He avoided the topic because it made him uncomfortable. Avoided means stayed away from. Repeat. He avoided the topic. The car stopped abruptly. Abruptly means suddenly. Repeat. The car stopped abruptly. Good. Now let's put them into a short speaking flow. The bread was stale. The child begged for another story. The room was spotless. He avoided the topic. The car stopped abruptly. Again. The bread was stale. The child begged for another story. The room was spotless. He avoided the topic. The car stopped abruptly. Very good. Now let's create a more natural conversation using some of these words. Conversation. Nora. Why did the car stop so suddenly? Ethan. It stopped abruptly because a dog ran across the road. Nora. That scared me. Ethan. Me too. But we are safe. Nora. Good. I feel relieved now. Ethan. Same here. Let's drive more carefully. Repeat. The car stopped abruptly. That scared me. We are safe. I feel relieved now. Let's drive more carefully. Again. The car stopped abruptly. That scared me. We are safe. I feel relieved now. Let's drive more carefully. Good. Now we will train listening rhythm. I will say groups of sentences. Repeat each group. Try to keep the rhythm smooth. Group 1. When I see a new word, I stay calm. I read the whole sentence. I looks for clues. Then I make a smart guess. Repeat. When I see a new word, I stay calm. I read the whole sentence. I look for clues. Then I make a smart guess. Group 2. I can use contrast. I can use examples. I can use emotion. I can use word parts. Repeat. I can use contrast. I can use examples. I can use emotion. I can use word parts. Group 3. A new word is not a problem. It is a clue. It is a chance to learn. It is a small puzzle. Repeat. A new word is not a problem. It is a clue. It is a chance to learn. It is a small puzzle. Excellent. Now let's talk about dictionaries. A dictionary is useful. A dictionary is not your enemy, but it should not be your first step every time. Use your brain first, then use a dictionary later to confirm. This is important. If you always check first, you train dependence. If you guess first, you train independence. So the new habit is guess first, check later. Repeat. Guess first, check later. Again. Guess first, check later. Now make it a full sentence. I will say guess first and check later. Again, I will guess first and check later. Good. Now let's do another long listening passage. This one is about a busy morning at work. Listen for the main idea. Sophia arrived at the office 5 minutes early. The hallway was unusually quiet. Usually, people chatted near the coffee machine, but today, everyone looked focused. On her desk, Sophia found a note. It said, "Urgent meeting at 9. Please bring the updated report." She felt a little anxious. The report was almost finished, but one section was unclear. She opened her laptop, revised the final paragraph, and printed the pages. At 9, she entered the meeting room. Her manager smiled and said, "Thank you for preparing this so quickly." Sophia felt relieved. Now let's review possible new words. Unusually. The hallway was unusually quiet. Usually, it is noisy. Today, it is different. Unusually means not in the normal way. Repeat. The hallway was unusually quiet. Focused. Everyone looked focused. They were not chatting. They were paying attention to work. Focused means giving attention to something. Repeat. Everyone looked focused. Urgent. Urgent meeting. It must be important and needs quick action. Repeat. Urgent meeting. Updated. Updated report. The report has new information. Updated means made current or new. Repeat. Updated report. Anxious. She felt a little anxious. She was worried. Repeat. She felt a little anxious. Revised. She revised the paragraph. She changed and improved it. Repeat. She revised the paragraph. Relieved. The manager smiled. The problem was okay. She felt relieved. Repeat. She felt relieved. Now repeat the story in a shorter version. The hallway was unusually quiet. Everyone looked focused. There was an urgent meeting. Sophia needed the updated report. She felt anxious. She revised one paragraph. Then she felt relieved. Again. The hallway was unusually quiet. Everyone looked focused. There was an urgent meeting. Sophia needed the updated report. She felt anxious. She revised one paragraph. Then she felt relieved. Excellent. This is high-value vocabulary for work and daily life. Now let's move to a special section, how to describe a word when you do not know it. This is very useful for speaking. Sometimes you forget a word. That is okay. You can describe it. For example, you forget the word receipt. You can say, it is the small paper you get after you pay. Repeat, it is the small paper you get after you pay. That is a receipt. You forget the word charger. You can say, it is the thing I use to give power to my phone. Repeat, it is the thing I use to give power to my phone. That is a charger. You forget the word remote control. You can say, it is the thing I use to change the TV channel. Repeat, it is the thing I use to change the TV channel. That is a remote control. Good. This helps you keep speaking. You do not stop. You explain. Now practice. How can you describe umbrella? It is the thing you use when it rains. Repeat. It is the thing you use when it rains. How can you describe elevator? It is the machine that takes people up and down in a building. Repeat. It is the machine that takes people up and down in a building. How can you describe calendar? It is something you use to check dates. Repeat. It is something you use to check dates. How can you describe wallet? It is the thing you keep money and cards in. Repeat. It is the thing you keep money and cards in. Excellent. Now turn this into a fluency tool. When you forget a word, say, I do not remember the exact word, but it is the thing that. Repeat, I do not remember the exact word, but it is the thing that. Again, I do not remember the exact word, but it is the thing that. Now examples. I do not remember the exact word, but it is the thing that keeps drinks hot. That is a thermos. Repeat, I do not remember the exact word, but it is the thing that keeps drinks hot. I do not remember the exact word, but it is the person who fixes pipes. That is a plumber. Repeat, I do not remember the exact word, but it is the person who fixes pipes. I do not remember the exact word, but it is the place where you borrow books. That is a library. Repeat, I do not remember the exact word, but it is the place where you borrow books. Good. This is speaking freedom. You do not need perfect vocabulary to communicate. You can describe. Now let's do a conversation using this skill. At home. Lily, can you pass me the thing on the table? Mark, which thing? Lily, I do not remember the word. It is the thing we use to open bottles. Mark, oh, the bottle opener? Lily, yes, exactly. The bottle opener. Mark, here you go. Lily, thank you. I forgot the word, but I described it. Mark, and I understood you perfectly. Repeat, I do not remember the word. It is the thing we use to open bottles. Oh, the bottle opener? Yes, exactly. I forgot the word, but I described it. Again, I do not remember the word. It is the thing we use to open bottles. Oh, the bottle opener. Yes, Exactly. I forgot the word, but I described it. Good. This skill reduces fear. You can keep talking even when a word is missing. Now let's review common clue words. These words are signals. They tell you what kind of clue is coming, which means, for example, such as, but, unlike, because, so, therefore, including, instead. Let's use them. Sentence. A thermometer, which means a tool for measuring temperature, is useful when you are sick. The phrase, which means, gives the meaning. Repeat. A thermometer measures temperature. Again. A thermometer measures temperature. Sentence. She enjoys board games, such as chess and Scrabble, such as, gives examples. Board games are games played on a board. Repeat. She enjoys board games. Sentence. Unlike his loud brother, Kevin is soft-spoken. Unlike, gives contrast. Soft-spoken means speaking quietly and gently. Repeat. Kevin is soft-spoken. Sentence. The road was icy, so we drove slowly. So gives result. Icy means covered with ice. Repeat. The road was icy. Good. Now let's practice signal words in a short paragraph. Many people feel overwhelmed, which means they feel they have too much to handle when they study a new language. For example, they may see long words, fast sentences, and unfamiliar sounds, but if they slow down and look for clues, the language becomes easier. Now repeat key sentences. Many people feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means having too much to handle. They see unfamiliar sounds. If they slow down, the language becomes easier. Again, many people feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means having too much to handle. They see unfamiliar sounds. If they slow down, the language becomes easier. Excellent. Now let's do a deeper shadowing section for confidence. Repeat after me. I do not have to know every word. I can still understand the message. I can follow the story. I can notice the clues. I can guess the meaning. I can check later. I can keep learning. Again, I do not have to know every word. I can still understand the message. I can follow the story. I can notice the clues. I can guess the meaning. I can check later. I can keep learning. Good. Now more natural. When I read English, I do not stop at every new word. I look at the whole sentence. I notice the situation. I make a simple guess. Then I continue. Reading. Repeat. When I read English, I do not stop at every new word. I look at the whole sentence. I notice the situation. I make a simple guess. Then I continue. Reading. Excellent. Now we will practice with news-style sentences. These are useful because many learners read online articles. Sentence 1. The city launched a new public transport program. Maybe launched is new. City, new program. Launched means started officially. Repeat. The city launched a new program. Again. The city launched a new program. Sentence 2. The company reduced prices to attract more customers. Reduced prices. Attract customers. Reduced means made lower. Attract means bring interest. Repeat. The company reduced prices. The company attracted more customers. Again. The company reduced prices. The company attracted more customers. Sentence 3. Heavy rain caused severe flooding in several areas. Severe flooding. Heavy rain. Severe means very serious or bad. Repeat. Severe flooding. Again. Severe flooding. Sentence 4. The school announced new safety rules. Announced. School. Rules. Announced means said publicly or officially. Repeat. The school announced new safety rules. Again. The school announced new safety rules. Good. Now short review. Launch means start officially. Reduce means make lower. Attract means bring interest. Severe means very serious. Announce means say officially. Repeat. Launch means start officially. Reduce means make lower. Attract means bring interest. Severe means very serious. Announce means say officially. Good. Now let's move to story-based practice. Again, this time, you will hear many clues. Story. The small business. Amir opened a small bakery on a quiet street. At first, only a few customers came in. He felt discouraged, but he did not give up. He improved the recipes. He decorated the windows. He offered free samples to people walking by. Slowly, more customers began to notice the bakery. Within 3 months, the shop became popular. Amir felt proud of his progress. Now possible new words. Discouraged. At first, only a few customers came. He felt discouraged. He felt less hopeful. Repeat. He felt discouraged. Improved. He improved the recipes. He made them better. Repeat. He improved the recipes. Decorated. He decorated the windows. He made them look nice. Repeat. He decorated the windows. Samples. He offered free samples, small amounts of food to try. Repeat. He offered free samples. Progress. He felt proud of his progress. Progress means improvement over time. Repeat. He felt proud of his progress. Now repeat the story summary. Amir opened a bakery. At first, he felt discouraged. He improved the recipes. He offered free samples. More customers noticed the bakery. He felt proud of his progress. Again, Amir opened a bakery. At first, he felt discouraged. He improved the recipes. He offered free samples. More customers noticed the bakery. He felt proud of his progress. Excellent. Now connect this to your English. Maybe at first you feel discouraged. Maybe English feels difficult, but you can improve your practice. You can notice small progress, and you can feel proud. Repeat. I may feel discouraged sometimes, but I can keep practicing. I can improve step by step. I can feel proud of my progress. Again, I may feel discouraged sometimes, but I can keep practicing. I can improve step by step. I can feel proud of my progress. Good. Now let's do a common English word with many meanings. The word is run. You probably know run as moving fast with your legs. I run every morning, but run can mean manage. She runs a small business. Run can mean function. The machine runs well. Run can mean continue. The movie runs for 2 hours. Repeat. I run every morning. She runs a small business. The machine runs well. The movie runs for 2 hours. Good. How do you know the meaning? Situation, a person and morning, physical exercise, a business, manage, a machine, function, a movie, and time, continue. Now the word break. Break can mean damage. I broke my phone. Break can mean rest. Let's take a short break. Break can mean interrupt a pattern. She broke the silence. Repeat. I broke my phone. Let's take a short break. She broke the silence. Good. The word clear. Clear can mean easy to understand. Your explanation is clear. Clear can mean without clouds. The sky is clear. Clear can mean remove things. Please clear the table. Repeat. Your explanation is clear. The sky is clear. Please clear the table. Excellent. This is why you should not memorize only one meaning. Words move, words change with context. The sentence chooses the meaning. Now let's do a real-life conversation with a word that has many meanings. Conversation. Noah. Can you clear the table? Ella. Sure. Do you mean move the dishes? Noah. Yes. Please move the plates and cups. Ella. Okay. By the way, your explanation earlier was very clear. Noah. Thank you. Same word. Different meaning. Ella. English is funny. Like that. Noah. Yes. But the context helps. Repeat. Can you clear the table? Your explanation was very clear. Same word. Different meaning. The context helps. Again. Can you clear the table? Your explanation was very clear. Same word. Different meaning. The context helps. Good. Now let's practice a method called replace and test. When you see a new word, replace it with a simple word you know. If it fits, your guess is probably good. Example, the meal was delicious. If delicious is new, replace it with very good. The meal was very good. It fits. So delicious means very good to eat. Repeat. The meal was delicious. Again. The meal was delicious. Another example. The baby was tiny. Replace tiny with very small. The baby was very small. It fits. Tiny means very small. Repeat. The baby was tiny. Again, the baby was tiny. Another one. The question was difficult. Replace difficult with hard. The question was hard. It fits. Difficult means hard. Repeat. The question was difficult. Now practice. The jacket was damp after the rain. Replace damp with slightly wet. The jacket was slightly wet after the rain. It fits. Damp means slightly wet. Repeat. The jacket was damp. The answer was accurate. Replace accurate with correct. The answer was correct. It fits. Accurate means correct. Repeat. The answer was accurate. The dog was furious. Replace furious with very angry. The dog was very angry. It fits. Furious means very angry. Repeat. The dog was furious. Good. Now use them in a story. My jacket was damp after the rain. The weather report was accurate. A furious dog barked behind the gate. Repeat. My jacket was damp after the rain. The weather report was accurate. A furious dog barked behind the gate. Excellent. Now let's move into practical reading training. Imagine you are reading this paragraph. The hotel room was spotless. The bed was neatly made. The floor was clean, and there was no dust anywhere. I felt comfortable immediately. What does spotless mean? Look at the next sentence. Bed neatly made, floor clean, no dust. Spotless means extremely clean. Repeat. The hotel room was spotless. Again, the hotel room was spotless. Now paragraph 2. The instructions were vague. They did not explain when to start, where to go, or what to bring. What does vague mean? Not clear, not specific. Repeat. The instructions were vague. Again, the instructions were vague. Paragraph 3. The restaurant was packed. Every table was full, and people were waiting outside. What does packed mean? Very full. Repeat. The restaurant was packed. Again, the restaurant was packed. Paragraph 4. The child was restless. He could not sit still and kept moving around the room. What does restless mean? Unable to stay still. Repeat. The child was restless. Again, the child was restless. Good. This is a very important practice. The sentence after the new word often explains it. So keep reading. Now let's do speaking with those words. The room was spotless. The instructions were vague. The restaurant was packed. The child was restless. Again, the room was spotless. The instructions were vague. The restaurant was packed. The child was restless. Now combine them. The hotel was spotless, but the instructions were vague. Repeat. The hotel was spotless, but the instructions were vague. The restaurant was packed, so the child became restless. Repeat. The restaurant was packed, so the child became restless. Good. Now let's talk about guessing from tone. Tone means the feeling in the sentence or voice. Listen. Oh, great. Another problem. The words say great, but the tone may mean not great. This is sarcasm. Sometimes tone changes meaning. For B1 and B2 learners, you do not need to master everything, but notice the feeling. If the situation is negative and the person says something positive, maybe the meaning is not literal. Example, I forgot my keys, missed the bus, and spilled coffee on my shirt. What a perfect morning. Perfect usually means very good, but here, the situation is bad. So perfect morning is used in a sarcastic way. It really means a bad morning. Repeat. What a perfect morning. In this situation, it means a bad morning. Again. What a perfect morning. Good. Now another tone example. That was a brilliant idea. If someone smiles and praises you, brilliant means very smart. But if someone says it after a mistake, it may be sarcasm. So always listen to situation and tone. Repeat. That was a brilliant idea. Brilliant can mean very smart. Tone helps me understand. Good. Now we will return to normal vocabulary practice. Let's practice adjectives. You can understand from context. Sentence. The pillow was soft, and I fell asleep quickly. Soft means not hard. Repeat. The pillow was soft. Sentence. The road was rough, so the car moved up and down. Rough means not smooth. Repeat. The road was rough. Sentence. The bag was lightweight, so I carried it easily. Lightweight means not heavy. Repeat. The bag was lightweight. Sentence. The room was stuffy, so we opened the window. Stuffy means without fresh air. Repeat. The room was stuffy. Sentence. The soup was bland, so I added salt. Bland means not having much flavor. Repeat. The soup was bland. Now repeat all. The pillow was soft. The road was rough. The bag was lightweight. The room was stuffy. The soup was bland. Again. The pillow was soft. The road was rough. The bag was lightweight. The room was stuffy. The soup was bland. Excellent. Now let's practice verbs from context. Sentence. She folded the letter and put it in the envelope. Folded means bent something so one part covers another. Repeat. She folded the letter. Sentence. He stirred the soup with a spoon. Stirred means moved a spoon around in liquid. Repeat. He stirred the soup. Sentence. She rinsed the cup with clean water. Rinsed means washed quickly with water. Repeat. She rinsed the cup. Sentence. He borrowed my pen and returned it later. Borrowed means took for a short time and gave back. Repeat. He borrowed my pen. Sentence. She ignored the message and did not reply. Ignored means did not pay attention. Repeat. She ignored the message. Now repeat all. She folded the letter. He stirred the soup. She rinsed the cup. He borrowed my pen. She ignored the message. Again. She folded the letter. He stirred the soup. She rinsed the cup. He borrowed my pen. She ignored the message. Good. Now we will do a mini dialogue using some of these. Kitchen conversation. Dad, could you stir the soup for me? Lena, sure. Should I add salt? Dad, taste it first. It might be a little bland. Lena, you are right. It needs more flavor. Dad, add a little salt, then stir again. Lena, done. Now it tastes better. Repeat. Could you stir the soup? It might be a little bland. It needs more flavor. Add a little salt. Stir again. Now it tastes better. Again. Could you stir the soup? It might be a little bland. It needs more flavor. Add a little salt. Stir again. Now it tastes better. Good. Now let's do a travel dialogue. At the train station, Sam, I think our train is delayed. Ivy, how do you know? Sam, the screen says it will arrive 20 minutes later. Ivy, oh, delayed means later than planned. Sam, yes, but there is an alternative train at platform 6. Ivy, alternative means another choice, right? Sam, exactly. Let's take that one. Repeat. Our train is delayed. It will arrive 20 minutes later. There is an alternative train. Alternative means another choice. Let's take that one again. Our train is delayed. It will arrive 20 minutes later. There is an alternative train. Alternative means another choice. Let's take that one. Excellent. Now let's review all main tools in natural English. Repeat after me. Context helps me understand. Category helps me understand. Contrast helps me understand. Examples help me understand. Emotion helps me understand. Action helps me understand. Word parts help me understand. Sound helps me understand. Situation helps me understand. Again, context helps me understand. Category helps me understand. Contrast helps me understand. Examples help me understand. Emotion helps me understand. Action helps me understand. Word parts help me understand. Sound helps me understand. Situation helps me understand. Great. Now let's make these into real learner sentences. I can use context to guess meaning. I can use examples to understand new words. I can use contrast to find opposites. I can use word parts to unlock long words. I can use emotion to remember vocabulary. I can use stories to learn naturally. Repeat. I can use context to guess meaning. I can use examples to understand new words. I can use contrast to find opposites. I can use word parts to unlock long words. I can use emotion to remember vocabulary. I can use stories to learn naturally. Excellent. Now we will do final practice with a longer, real-life conversation. This conversation is about a learner named Chris. He is watching a movie in English with his friend Emma. Chris does not know every word, but he learns to continue conversation. Chris, I want to stop the movie for a second. Emma, did you miss something? Chris, there was a word I did not know. Emma, what was the word? Chris, the character said the house looked abandoned. Emma, what was happening in the scene? Chris, the house was old. The windows were broken. Nobody lived there. Emma, then what do you think abandoned means? Chris, maybe left alone, not used anymore. Emma, exactly. An abandoned house is a place people have left. Chris, good. Let's continue. Emma, great. Do not stop for every word. Just collect clues. Chris, okay. Here is another one. The man looked suspicious. Emma, what did he do? Chris, he looked around nervously and hid something in his coat. Emma, so suspicious means strange, in a way that makes people not trust him. Chris, that makes sense. Emma, see, you are understanding from the scene. Chris, it is easier when I look at the story. Emma, exactly. Movies are full of clues. Chris, I usually feel frustrated when I do not know a word. Emma, that is normal, but frustration can become curiosity. Chris, curiosity? Emma, yes. Instead of thinking, I do not know this word, think. What clues can I find? Chris, I like that. Emma, try it with the next word. Chris, okay. The woman said she was exhausted. Emma, what did she do before that? Chris, she worked all day and walked home in the rain. Emma, so, Chris, exhausted means very tired. Emma, perfect. Chris, I understood 3 new words without a dictionary. Emma, abandoned, suspicious, exhausted. Chris, and I remember them because they were in a story. Emma, that is real learning. Now repeat useful sentences from the dialogue. The house looked abandoned. Nobody lived there. The man looked suspicious. He hid something in his coat. She was exhausted. She worked all day. I understood 3 new words. I remember them because they were in a story. Again, the house looked abandoned. Nobody lived there. The man looked suspicious. He hid something in his coat. She was exhausted. She worked all day. I understood 3 new words. I remember them because they were in a story. Now, vocabulary review. Abandoned means left alone or no longer used. Suspicious means strange, in a way that makes people not trust it. Exhausted means very tired. Repeat. Abandoned means left alone. Suspicious means hard to trust. Exhausted means very tired. Again. Abandoned means left alone. Suspicious means hard to trust. Exhausted means very tired. Excellent. Now, final shadowing practice. This section will help you speak with confidence. Repeat after me. I can understand more than I think. I do not need to know every word. I can listen for the main idea. I can look for clues. I can use the story. I can use the situation. I can guess first. I can check later. I can keep speaking. I can keep learning. Again, I can understand more than I think. I do not need to know every word. I can listen for the main idea. I can look for clues. I can use the story. I can use the situation. I can guess first. I can check later. I can keep speaking. I can keep learning. Good. Now a little smoother. When I meet a new word, I stay calm. I read the whole sentence. I notice the words around it. I think about the situation. Then I make a smart guess. If I need to, I check later. But first, I trust my brain. Repeat. When I meet a new word, I stay calm. I read the whole sentence. I notice the words around it. I think about the situation. Then I make a smart guess. If I need to, I check later. But first, I trust my brain. Excellent. Now let's review the most important vocabulary from today. Repeat each word and sentence. Relieved. I felt relieved when the problem was solved. Anxious. She felt anxious before the interview. Unclear. The instructions were unclear. Revise. I need to revise my paragraph. Available. Is this seat available? Delayed. The flight was delayed. Remote. They live in a remote village. Steep. The path was steep. Cozy. The room felt cozy. Crowded. The bus was crowded. Fragile. This glass is fragile. Urgent. This message is urgent. Spacious. The apartment is spacious. Mild. I prefer mild food. Vague. The answer was vague. Spotless. The kitchen was spotless. Packed. The restaurant was packed. Restless. The child was restless. Suspicious. The man looked suspicious. Exhausted. I was exhausted after work. Now repeat. In short pairs. Relieved. After a problem. Anxious. Before an interview. Unclear instructions. Revise. A paragraph. Available seats. Delayed flights. Remote villages. Steep hills. Cozy rooms. Crowded buses. Fragile glass. Urgent messages. Spacious apartments. Mild food. Vague answers. Spotless kitchens. Packed restaurants. Restless children. Suspicious behavior. Exhausted workers. Excellent. Now let's do a final story that uses many of these words. Listen carefully. Yesterday, I had an urgent appointment across town. At first, the directions were unclear. I felt anxious because I did not want to be late. The bus was crowded, and the road was slippery after the rain. Then the bus was delayed. I checked the map and found an alternative route. It went through a quiet neighborhood with narrow streets and cozy cafes. When I finally arrived, I felt relieved. The appointment was short, and everything went well. On the way home, I felt proud. I did not understand every sign, but I stayed calm. I looked for clues, and I found my way. Now let's repeat the story in pieces. I had an urgent appointment. The directions were unclear. I felt anxious. The bus was crowded. The road was slippery. The bus was delayed. I found an alternative route. The streets were narrow. The cafes looked cozy. I finally arrived. I felt relieved. I stayed calm. I looked for clues. I found my way. Again, I had an urgent appointment. The directions were unclear. I felt anxious. The bus was crowded. The road was slippery. The bus was delayed. I found an alternative route. The streets were narrow. The cafes looked cozy. I finally arrived. I felt relieved. I stayed calm. I looked for clues. I found my way. Good. This final story is about more than travel. It is about English. Sometimes the directions are unclear. Sometimes the road feels slippery. Sometimes your progress feels delayed. But you can find an alternative route. You can stay calm. You can look for clues. And you can find your way. Now let's finish with a simple practice habit. After this lesson, choose one English sentence from a book, video, comment, or article. Find one word you do not know. Do not check the dictionary immediately. First, ask these questions. What is happening? What type of word is it? Is there a contrast? Are there examples? What emotion do I feel? Are there word parts I know? Can I replace it with a simple word? Then make a guess. After that, check if you want. This habit will train your brain. One word a day is enough. One small guess a day is enough. Small practice becomes strong fluency. Before we end, repeat these final sentences with me. A new word is not a wall. A new word is a clue. I can stay calm. I can look around. I can guess from context. I can learn from stories. I can speak. Even when I do not know every word, I can become more fluent step by step. Again, a new word is not a wall. A new word is a clue. I can stay calm. I can look around. I can guess from context. I can learn from stories. I can speak. Even when I do not know every word, I can become more fluent step by step. Beautiful. You did a lot of practice today. You listened. You guessed. You repeated. You shadowed. You learned how to use context, category, contrast, examples, emotion, action, word parts, sound, and real-life situations. And most importantly, you trained confidence because vocabulary is not only about knowing more words, it is about trusting yourself when you meet words you do not know. That trust is a big part of fluency. So keep practicing, keep listening, keep repeating, keep noticing. And the next time you see a new English word, do not panic. Smile a little. Look at the sentence, find the clues, and let your brain do the work. Thank you for learning with me today on Fluent English in Minutes. If this lesson helped you, subscribe to the channel for more calm, clear English listening and speaking practice. You can come back to this lesson again, repeat the sentences again, shadow the conversations again, and each time your English will feel a little more natural. Remember, guess first, check later, practice daily, and trust your progress. I will see you in the next lesson.